Hello everyone. Today, been out in the garden. We got some tomatoes. We picked about a 5-gallon bucket or so of red tomatoes. We're gonna can them later. And while I was out there, I picked a few green tomatoes. Thought we might make a video of fried green tomatoes. You'll have to bear with me. I'm new at this. I stammer and get a little nervous, but that's just me. A little bit about me. I went to culinary school in Southern Ohio, which is where I'm from, and then went to culinary school in Italy and did an internship there. And I've been working in kitchens and things ever since. The stuff I do, or at least for right now, is not any fancy cooking. It's just home cooking, just good food. Nothing fancy or super hard. A lot of things that you see on the video or videos of other chefs, everything is made by scratch, which is good. But in reality, if you're cooking for your family at home, you don't always have time to make every little piece of thing from scratch. Believe me, I know. And you find shortcuts and ways to compensate for that time so you can get your meal out for your family. For instance, if I'm making something that has beans in it, if I have leftover beans from a day, I'll use them. If not, I have no problem with using store-bought or canned goods and then turning that into my own. Okay, so enough about me and the channel and my thoughts. Let's get to making some fried green tomatoes. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna put my gloves on. And we've already cleaned and washed our tomatoes. Cut that top off. That little bit will go to my pig. I'm gonna make one more little slice right there. There we go. Still had a little bit of stem. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these about a 1/4 inch a slice. Cut my opposite end off of there. Where the pig can have a little treat. And this I'll just split in half. So we'll put these on this little tray. Good firm green tomatoes is what you want for this dish. Now we'll put them out here on our tray. I only did 2 tomatoes. There's not very many of us. So I'll get some kosher salt. Let me pull this right here so you can see what I'm doing. Get some kosher salt and sprinkle them with salt. You can use regular salt if you want. Then we'll flip these over. That salt helps draw the moisture out so you got a good crispy green tomato. Okay, so now we'll set these aside and let that salt do its job. Okay, so now we have this stuff. I am going to kind of give my green tomatoes just a little pat there with a paper towel to get a little excess moisture. If that salt draws out, you can see it draws out a lot of moisture. Okay, I'm going to flip these over and do the same thing. And I don't know, let me set these up here and pull this around so you can see. All I'm doing right now is flipping these green tomatoes over to get this side, to get some of that moisture off of it. We don't want mushy green tomatoes. We want nice and crispy, firm green tomatoes. So yeah, that pulled a lot of moisture out of there. That looks pretty good. We're going to slide this back over here where you can see part of it. We'll move our breading closer. All right, so we'll start down here. We're going to dip our... Okay, so we have a tomato in here, and we use right hand, or dry hand, wet hand. So I have my tomato here, we'll pull that out, put it in here, take my dry hand, and bread it. And then we'll reach over and get a tomato with our wet hand. Coat it. Put it in there, take our dry hand, and coat it with our cornmeal and flour. Okay, and the very last one. So we get that coated, put it over in our dry, and throw a little cornmeal and flour up on top. Flip it over. And there you go. We have all of our... Okay, so now we have our skillet. We're gonna put some oil in here, coat the bottom. I want it to come up a little bit, but I don't want too much oil. Just enough to fry it. That's probably good. That's probably about 1/8 inch of oil. I'll turn my stove on. To about a medium setting. Let our oil heat up a little bit. I had to get my gloves. So we're going to let our oil heat up just a hair until it's good and hot. Okay, so now, yep, our oil's good. You can see that starting to sizzles when you put that in. So we're going to put our tomatoes in. think we can squeeze one more in there. Get this little guy over here. So we'll let them I don't like to turn my heat up real high because then your flours and cornmeal tends to burn in the bottom of your skillet. So we just want to cook those to a golden brown color. Might give them a little spin every once in a while to make sure they're cooking even. Looking like, see that? That looks pretty good. And you can see the breading's not super thick, which personally I like a thinner breading. And you can see why I say give them a spin, where they've browned more on one side than the other. This one's got a good even. They're not quite there yet, but they're close. Okay, we'll check these out and see how they're looking. And see, it's time to give them a little spin. Same with this one. All right, we got them all. Our spin, give them a little spin. Now let's just wait on them to brown a little longer. You can see I give these last ones a little flip. All right, so I'm gonna pick me one out here. This one here looks good. Put that on my plate and let's see what it tastes like. Okay, now we have, let's give it a taste. Whoops. So I realized in making my video that I forgot to tell you how much flour and buttermilk egg wash I had. So I had 3/4 cup of flour, 3/4 cup of white cornmeal, half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of onion powder in that, and then mix that all up. And then my egg wash, I have a cup of buttermilk and 1 egg, and mix that all together. If you like fried green tomatoes, this is a recipe for you. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that thumbs up button. Thanks. See you next time.